Welcome back to TYT Sports. Francis here. So facts are some interesting things to look at, especially when they explain a story that you would have never actually put together. And we're talking about Real Madrid in this instance, going through a bit of a rocky stage when it comes to their La Liga form. They're obviously looking to continue in the Champions League and go and obtain all the glory that Zidane, I think, has firmly within his sights. But Guillem Balagué, who I firmly believe is a fantastic journalist out there, represented La Liga for years, he actually showcased some examples statistically that show that when Benzema, Bale and Ronaldo are on the field together, Real Madrid are not as effective and actually play worse. So the first one, it's comparing when the BBC all start and at least one of them are missing. So when they all start, they average 1.2 goals against compared to 1 when at least one is missing. The winning percentage is much higher when at least one is missing, and the points per game is slightly higher as well. And as we move on to the next one, the focal point, he believes, the argument that it kind of sums it all up is when Benzema and Ronaldo start, they have 2.5 goals per game, and when Benzema and Ronaldo are absent, 2.9 goals per game. And they've conceded a little bit more when it comes to goals against. The winning percentage, look how much higher that is. 81%. And the points per game is 2.1 compared to 2.6. So it's interesting, right? And I'm not going to look at these stats and believe it to be true that when Ronaldo, Bale and Benzema are there, that Real Madrid are completely worse and they should look to try and fix that situation. But as we often see, when you combine all of these phenomenal players who often, in a very similar fashion, at times are looking to accomplish the same thing, is like they maybe have to alter their game. Ronaldo, as we've seen, when Benzema is not in the starting lineup, I actually feel that he has a lot more to offer to Real Madrid because he doesn't pull out as wide. He's more effective in the middle of the park in considering getting into the box. And he has that instinct and a natural finishing ability that is almost unmatched throughout the world. He is often being considered as a wide man or an alternative up top. But when you look at the fundamentals that makes Cristiano Ronaldo brilliant, he has a striker's mentality. He always has. That's why he's got one of the most remarkable goal-scoring records of all time. So when Benzema's not there, Benzema is more of a fox in the box as well. So when Ronaldo plays, he often takes up that role. Gareth Bale is a perfect alternative to if Benzema's not there or if Benzema is playing, because his role doesn't necessarily change as much. He hangs out on the right, he cuts inside, he gets on the score sheet when he can, and he is a phenomenal all-round player. So I think the conversation is more focused, not as much including Gareth Bale, but Ronaldo and Benzema. Because Ronaldo's goal-scoring form, we saw how he basically took Real Madrid off life support in an almost embarrassing game against Las Palmas. They eventually grabbed 2 goals later on to pull it back to 3-3 and salvage a point. Cristiano Ronaldo, as much as you may want to criticise him and compare his statistics year by year, he's getting older. Of course, it's going to be an almost impossible task for him to maintain the already ridiculous level of standard that he's been playing at for years, if he doesn't kind of adjust his game, which he has been doing discreetly for the past 2 to 3 years. But people still will come in and expect Ronaldo to bang it in from 30-plus yards, which he has the ability to still do. But he's so much more effective when he plays through the middle. He's so much more effective when he lays the ball off and gets into the box and uses his aerial ability and his finishing ability and his knack for getting into positions where he can have the opportunity to score. Karim Benzema, in my opinion, always will find a way to score goals. So it just comes down to whether Zinedine Zidane will look at things like this and see that maybe Real Madrid are more effective when you sit Benzema out and maybe have Cristiano Ronaldo play, or maybe limit their minutes or adjust. Who knows? That's why he's the manager and I'm not. But it's just always interesting to see what someone like Guillem Balagué, who watches this league inside out, is able to pick apart, because Real Madrid's dip in form, it has to be explained somehow. It's not going to be explained just through this. They're conceding a lot more goals than they should be. Is that a direct correlation to Cristiano Ronaldo, Bale and Benzema playing? Maybe if there was just 2, they would have another person in the midfield to drop back and support them. But I think the defensive issues is more of a problem when you look further back at the field, not as much in comparison to playing those 3. But who knows, man? Because Zinedine Zidane has a choice to make. Gareth Bale is now going to be suspended, as we know, for a couple of games in La Liga for being sent off for a very out-of-character moment for Gareth Bale, kind of emphasising the frustration that Real Madrid have as a team. But will they look and now compare what will happen without Bale in the team and will they're able to bounce back? I personally think that no matter what, when those 3 are on form, clicking together, they're probably one of the best front threes you'll imagine putting together in world football, right next to Messi, Neymar and Suarez. And it's not always roses for them either. We know that when they first started clicking, they were unmatched. MSN was a force to be reckoned with. But with every dip in form collectively as a team, you could pick apart that they weren't playing as well together. Neymar, as we know, fell by the wayside for a little bit of the season there. Seems to be bouncing back. Messi and Neymar getting back on the score sheet. I think 5 out of the last 4 games are banging in goals relentlessly again. So that immediately gets forgotten, the past. That's why everyone has such short memories in football. But at the moment, when Real Madrid are going through an inconsistent phase, these articles are interesting to take into consideration. But Real Madrid fans, let us know what you think. Are Real Madrid better when they allow for just maybe 2 of the front 3 to play in there, maybe just 1 at times, or neither? Maybe they just get rid of all 3 of them. Let's be honest. Hit us in the comment section on Twitter, Francis_Maxwell. On Instagram, Francis M. Maxwell. And I'll see you guys soon.